이 붕대가 그렇게 궁금하신가 보군요. 있잖아요. 원래부터 이렇게 붉지는 않았어요. 그저 평범한 붕대를 두르고 있었거든요. 근데 자꾸만 눈구멍에서 검고 냄새나는 더러운 피가 나오는 거야. 멋지도 않고 틀어막혀지지도 않고. 그래서 늘 붉어.
Awkward. Greetings and salutations, everyone. I'm Ekamac. I wanted to show off my newly acquired Honglu and go over all the details for his stats, but unfortunately that recording crashed, so we're going to have to do this from scratch again. Lord of Hongwan. So, starting off, he has a fairly basic skill 1. It applies defense power up to other allies to a maximum of 3. It prioritizes targets with assist defense, including unique assist defenses. On use, at 6 plus rupture on target plus poison self, coin power plus 1. If the target has 3 plus types of negative effects, clash power plus 1. One thing I noticed is that he's not very good with stable poise count, so he's going to need someone else to cover for that, so ironically, they're making Thoracalgia more viable simply by adding more almost stable poise counts, so you're going to need that to fix them up. His skill 2, apply 1 gluttony damage up to all other allies that have gluttony skills equipped once per turn. So yeah, it's just a flat out, everyone else using gluttony gets more damage. It gains coin power for every rupture on the target plus poise on self to a maximum of 2 and gains 3 poise. The second coin has poise count, the third and fourth coin are the unbreakable ones. That's unfortunate because it means that we have 4 coins, all of them able to eat up our very rare poise count. I think even with all the bonuses added up, it's still going to be poise count negative. But most fun of all, his skill 3. Answer me Heisho packs. This skill does not trigger defensive skills. Coin power plus 1 for every rupture on target and poise on self. Gain 5 poise and 3 poise count. A 10 plus 12 unbreakable coin is actually pretty good for a single coin skill. After attack, among ally Heisho pack units that can act, choose one unit with the least Unrelenting Storm. Apply Unrelenting Storm, then bestow Exalted Command once per turn. After Exalted Command is complete, activate I Carve the Path of the Lord. If Exalted Command did not activate or if the combo identity is staggered or defeated before Exalted Command is complete, use Lonesome Stand, sacrifice to claim the garden instead. Yeah, this is just use an unopposed base skill 3 against an enemy unit. The downside is that, if there is a maximum stack of 2, if for some reason a fight went long enough that you got to see all uses of his skill 3, so everyone has 2 stacks of Unrelenting Storm, does that mean that he jumps straight to Lonesome Stand? Or does he still get to use I Carve the Path of the Lord on the firstmost ally? I'm not entirely sure. Anyhow, 1 unbreakable coin on hit inflict offense level down and defense level down for every type of negative effect on the target and for every type of death right on the target. Organized in such a way that the offense level can't be counted for. You aren't going to be getting an extra automatic negative effect on the target. So, I Carve the Path of the Lord. If this unit activated combo with a Heisho pack Adept Identity, base power plus 1, coin power plus 1. I was a bit confused on this, but then I actually looked. Forced is actually our only Heisho Adept. Everyone else is just Heisho Pack. Anyway, deal 1% more damage for every percent missing HP on target and self to a maximum of 50%. Gain coin power for the rupture and poise on self. Rupture on target and poise on self. Deal extra damage for every 2 types of negative effects on the target. So that probably is going to benefit from those debuffs earlier. Deal extra damage for every Heisho Bolus contamination. After attack, gain Heisho Bolus contamination based on which Heisho activated Exalted Command. So, Forced, take 5% less damage from skills. Ryoshu, if this unit's speed is faster than the target, deal extra damage. Utus, inflict 1 plus rupture count on hit with unopposed attacks. C. Rodian, inflict rupture on critical hit. C. Gregor, gain poise count when dealing rupture damage once per turn. Unfortunately, there's some once per turns on the things that would actually make him a stable identity. That's kind of unfortunate. On hit, inflict rupture count. Deal 50% more damage on critical hit. Inflict rupture, inflict slash resist down next turn. On kill, which is probably very hard to do after being hit with like 6 skill 3 coins worth. But on kill, for 2 ally Heisho Pack identities with least SP, heal SP. Apply attack power up next turn. Alternatively, Lonesome Stand, sacrifice to claim the garden. Deal extra damage for every life from death on self. This is given to him, I believe, for every Heisho that dies, whether or not he's on the field when they die. Deal 1% more damage for every 1% missing HP percentage on target, missing HP percentage on self, to a maximum of 50%. On use, at 3+ life from death, gain attack weight. Coin power for every rupture and poise. Deal extra damage for every types of negative effects. Deal extra damage for every Heisho Bolus contamination, and there's no cap on this. So in theory, that could reach 110%. On hit, inflict rupture. On hit, inflict rupture. And then deal extra damage for every type of negative effect. Inflict rupture / resist down. On kill, gain 2 attack power up next turn. The Heisho Lord. When other allies substitute in or return to battle, heal 10 SP. Then at combat start, command them to use skill 1 as an unopposed attack against a random enemy. If the said ally is Heisho Pack or Jia family, activate instead, heal 20 SP, then use base skill 3 as an unopposed attack. Encounter start, gain leash holder of all Heisho for every Heisho Pack identity in the team, including backup units. Gain max speed and deal extra damage for every single stack, up to 5. For every 2 stacks, gain 1 minimum speed, to a maximum of 2, and 1 defense level up to a maximum of 5. For every 3 stacks, gain an offense level up to 3. At 5+ stacks, gain a damage up, apply 1 offense level up to all Heisho Pack identities. When Heisho units are killed in an encounter, heal 20 SP, gain life from death, even when retreated. Deal extra damage for every Heisho Bolus contamination, and this is all given to him by default. By having 5 Gluttony, combat start, if this unit did not equip a defense skill and is about to take an unopposed attack, apply Lord's Guard to random Heisho Pack allies, with the least assessed defense stacks. Maximum of 2, once per identity, excluding identities with skills that gain assist defense. Interestingly, he's not going to give out Lord's Guard to Heisho Force because she can already get that by herself. In this encounter, when this unit takes damage that brings their HP down to 0, nullify the damage. Then the unit's HP cannot drop by 1 for the turn and gain a tarnished blood. I have to wonder how this works, whether you've used his Vov ego yet or not. Deal extra damage for every tarnished blood on self. When activating Tears of the Tarnished Blood, the End, nullify the death in its after attack effects. Instead, heal 60% HP. Starting next turn, gain 1 damage up every turn start. I think it's just going to remove Flower Burying Wedge and Tarnished Blood, but it's not going to kill him. But I don't know, I haven't tried that yet. And finally, at 6 Gluttony owned as backup support, Identity with the least HP percentage deal the number of death rights on target times 3% damage against the enemy, to a maximum of 15%. And one little thing extra here. His Clashable counter, combat start, apply 1 slash power up to highest resonance Heisho Pack identities, once per turn. If there are backup units, select an ally with the least percentage. Upon using this skill, so this might as well be an on-use effect. Apply Your Will Guides My Blade. Use a skill 1 to the Command Battlefield Retreat. Heal 10% of their HP upon retreating. The Heisho Pack identity who retreated to use this effect will be placed earlier in the return line than non-Heisho identities. If there are no backup units, apply to attack power up. Now the downside is that if you've got him with Ishmael, she's actually going to start retreating. The downside is that he might start pulling people in that aren't Heisho Pack identities. So you're going to have 2 non-Heisho instead of 1. And then there's this Lord's Guard, which is what he has other people use to protect him. This skill counts as an assist defense only for the unit that uses this skill. It does not trigger the effects of other characters with conditionals that check for assist defense. Gain 1 clash power. And only has a defense level of +0. Now, you might be interested. What's his uptie story? He implores, red tears streaming down. Yet who lends their ear to folly? As there was but a single dream. Vacuous ones, heed this warning. Beware the dragons ascending. 52 hours have passed since the commencement of the family hierarch's ascension was made known to Dangwon. Rumours and tales harrow the tongues of newsmongers, and the garden teems with the tales of conflicting accounts, yet none return to the throne of the family hierarch. Only news of a fantastical nature seems to break through the suffocating chaos. 4 great houses lie in ruins, their former glory tarnished, complete permanent shutdown of Taiken Temple. Family hierarchy evaluations abolished, quarterly amnesty policy revoked, complete and absolute monopoly over rooms declared, pursuit of immortality designated a taboo. The ancient, innumerably multitudinous rules and laws fade beyond the veils of history, and new rules in service of Hongwan fill their void. The land transforms as blue sea becomes a forest of mulberry trees with passage of time. The fell practices that had come to be accepted as laws were swept away by waves upon waves of obsidian beasts. Jia Baoyu, the precious gem of Dangwon, cool as the morning dew and icy enough to make a man shiver, his gaze pierces Dangwon, yet this presence is utterly departed from his former gentle temperament. You seem busy with your brush amidst others who would dare not raise their heads in my presence. A great tide has struck Hongwan, my lord. Though I know not whether it be for better or worse, history must rightly be passed down in these records. To that, the zenith of Hongwan replied thusly. There was very little fear in your heart despite the chaos. I see you have accompanied me from Taiken Temple to here, in service of your duties. Very well, let your records henceforth be known as Zheng Sheng Lu, chronicles of the rightful inheritance. It will be done, my lord! Your insolence is forgiven, for it was in service of Hong Wan. Yet I find myself growing curious of its contents. Bring it before me. I will not ask you to correct it. Yes, my lord. Big brother Bao Yu? How lucky I am to see the precious jade of Dongwon Yuan the moment I woke. The worm has tarnished my little sister's tongue and spirit both. I have finally become one with the fathomless history of Hong. It is said that the sights of springs seldom stay. Indeed, it blooms and wilts with the same futility of blossoms. Thus, Ishmael of the Jia family met her demise ere she ascended to her rightful seat of the family hierarch. It transpired within the hour of Bao Yu of the Jia family's name, departing for the Taikan temple accompanied by only an adept of the Mao branch. That was 23 hours after the commencement of the family hierarch ascension by the count of both the sun and the moon. I'm glad we were able to finish the job before they were fully assimilated. Retrieve the Xianhuan worm, dissect it down to its every tissue, and please extract everything it's got to offer. Do whatever you need to get the job done. I won't ask questions. Your wish is my command. Yet, my lord, what of those within? Those who had done a great deal of service to Hong Wan shall learn the secrets of immortality and gain the right to ascend to a higher plane of existence. I just realized I forgot to mention it, but I did notice it last time. And I did mention it, I haven't mentioned it yet. This appears to be a unique graphic used specifically for the Uptai story. I don't think they ever do that. Except maybe for that one time where Carmen cuts in to Ishmael's Uptai story, but So sang the song of the revered Xian Ren, known well to the denizens of Dongwon Yuan. Yet none of them could have foreseen the terrible, twisted, bizarre truth that awaited within the walls of Taikan Temple. Little Bao Yu, what's the meaning of this? How could you, of all people? Grotesque figures, their forms mutated beyond recognition, sit amidst earth riddled with human remains, testimony to their predilection for cannibalism. The vision before this chronicler was much like a congregation of malevolent ghosts and ghouls, physical manifestations of the supernatural strength, chaos, and spirits. That's a good one, Grandpa. Of all people, really, who else did you expect? Not even a stray bitch roaming the streets would have the audacity to show such disrespect against those who raised it. Thankless rat, that's what you are. How dare you brandish such crude steel at Taikan Temple, the heart of Hong Wan's history? Mark my words, your transgressions shall beget severe consequences. The Xian Ren, an elder of the Zhu family, casts vulgar curses towards Jia Bao Yu. Yet without even a scant trace of warmth, he replies placidly, a misunderstanding perhaps born out of my steady adherence to the path. This is untrue. No, I did not let their vulgarities linger overlong in my heart, yet the hollow eye in my sockets ached still. Cease, you needn't rise. Records often fail to speak the truth, even when honesty has guided the brush. Then the new master of Hong Wan shut his eye, deep in thought. He rubbed his chin contemplatively, then spoke again only after enough time to imbibe a cup of tea had passed. You there, kowtowing one, with your head buried between your hands, speak. Regale us with the tale of the Kong family and how they came to be annihilated. The Kong family has, in their greed, violated the laws of Hong Wan, and for that they were annihilated, my lord. See how he is made a liar, though earnestly he reads from the records? So they aren't going to reveal that aspect, But they're perfectly fine with talking about the Xian Ren and the Hongwan worm waiting for the family hierarch. I guess selective spoilers. Yet, returning the Kong's honor shan't be of any benefit to Hongwan just yet. Let us continue this perusal. How dare you defy our will, the will of Hongwan's venerable ancestors? Have you no shame? Have you not enjoyed the precious blessings we have bestowed upon... Oh, is that what you call those things granted me in your endeavour to sate your puerile need for entertainment? Blessings? I was made to witness the ruin that destroyed the Kong family, all for the sake of Xian Ren's entertainment. Black-feathered cuckoos pecking humans apart, seizing their nests, forcing their eggs inside, the newborns tearing their way out to the world through their stomachs, and the people. What abominable cycle, what terrible screams, what awful sights. I plucked my eye out, for I could bear it no longer. Was it because I was seized by the horror of that moment which etched itself into my psyche? No. It was simple, unbearable disgust. Knowing that the old and odious worms, the ailing vermin of Hongwan, lurked behind the eye, how their voracious jaws coveted my emotions. I had to remove it lest I vomited. They weren't blessings. All you've given me is a curse. Dear child, only time stands between you and understanding the joy of that entertainment. With time you too shall know. Do you not recall, child, we never spared any expense for anything you had ever sought, anything you desired. Oh, that. I remember still, it was only after a week with that eye locked in my room, that you could not bear the tedium and sent someone after me. 1 billion an did I ask for travel expenses with Jade, for I knew not by what other means I might dissuade you. And, not long after, Shi Mian sent Daviart fixers to deliver all kinds of precious riches before me. But all that gold, all that treasure you have given me were just transactions, were they not? You sought me to provide you with entertainment, with something to assuage the tedium of your overlong existences, and I received gold and treasures in return. What is this, if not a mere exchange of goods and services? Our relationship, if you can call it that, was simply business. Enough! We shan't suffer your insolence any longer. What an awful brute you have become! Worry not, this foolish attempt at a rebellion shall soon come to an end. Now, with the Titan Temple opened, the Jialan Guards shall be here any minute. Jialan Guards, the protectors of the Jia family. Unlike the Heisho, whose loyalty changes with the hand that wields their leashes, the Jialan Guards have sworn utter loyalty to the family hierarch and Dongguanyan. Due to the nature of their publicity, many who are known for their martial strength have deigned to join the Jialan Guards. I wonder why we haven't heard anything about them yet. Probably because we're only getting Heisho Pack identities, to be honest. But you'd think they'd have had something to say about the thumb rushing in and messing everything up. Thus, the Xianren seem to be of the belief that once their full force makes their way to Taiken Temple, they would bring a swift end to Jia Baoyu. No matter what childish trickery you have prepared outside, Hongwan shall... The years in this claustrophobic chamber have clearly rotted your brains. Ishmael is dead, without the next family hierarch to fill the seat. The ascension is null, ending the beast's respite. I wield the leashes of every house, and the beasts who are wandering without a family hierarch to serve. The 12 beasts are all mine. That cannot... Bao, how? You control them all? No, how has this come to be? O revered Heisho Xianren, why Jia Baoyu? My lord, by Heisho Xianren. Might that be another name for the adepts? No, adepts may be mighty, yet they are animals of the pack still. To wield the full might of Hongwan, I need the approval of the 12 Heisho Xianren. I would have loved nothing more than to borrow the true strength of each branch as well, but alas, they were adamant that such forces cannot be deployed unless the need was to battle forces foreign to this land. Actually, what is he saying here? So, I guess the Heisho Xianren are the leaders of the pack, not the adepts? So Forced is a Mao adept, but the Mao Xianren is probably someone else. Everything you have heard thus far is classified information. You will not record them. Thus spoke the adept of Mao, and impressed upon this chronicler that he mustn't leave any record of exchanges concerning the Heisho Xianren, and the negotiations that were had with those of whose existence we hitherto knew nothing. So essentially it's the Carmen banging on the monitor going, "No, no, you're leaving out the good parts! This is stuff we'd never heard of before!" The adept of Mao, upon realizing that this chronicler had been making a transcript of her entire speech, drew her hand close to the hilt of her blade, doubtless contemplating the untimely departure of his head from the torso, until the new master of Hongwan laughed and spoke thusly. "There are no rules against records in Hongwan. Record as you will," said he, and permitted this record to be made. Except the back streets. We still have the night in the back streets. You're not allowed to record in that. Heed me, 12 beasts. Plunge these parasites working against the prosperity of Hongwan into the gutters of Aveshi. They were availed not even a moment of respite. Their existence is now eternally condemned. Screeches tainted by hatred and drenched in suffering echoes endlessly betwixt the walls of Taiken Temple. Jie Baoyu gently beholds the inferno in his eye. Once outside, the chronicler saw that there was nothing but hollowness reflected in his eye. No happiness, no wrath, no sorrow, no joy, only a void of emotions. Perhaps there was satisfaction, however, for he has cut down the former hierarch, once called the venerable Jiamu or Shi Taijun, and some of the Xianren. For his gate departing Taiken Temple was light. It is said that to observe the heavenly rules one must rise closer to it. Yet I see it plainly still, the tall sky from the abyss of Taiken Temple. No soul dares to stand in Jie Baoyu's heavenward ascension. No Jialan guards, no soldiers of the four families. It may be tall, but this sky is only a simulacrum, my lord. When false becomes truth, so does truth become false. When non-existence becomes existence, so too is existence non-existence. To Shi Mian, that sky was real. Thus a sky it was. It appears as a sky to me as well. Thus a sky it shall remain. It is not a difficult concept. Shift your focus away from distinguishing truth from falsehood, and instead determine the perspective by which you view the world. To speak on your level, yes. From my perspective, the Jialan guards are not the shields of Hongwan. From where I stand, they are rebellious impurities who dare stand against the new master of Hongwan. Then the purge has already begun. Zhu hour, 32 hours after the commencement of family hierarch evaluation. Jialan guards make their last stand, barricading every pathway that connects Taiken Temple to the board of directors, but are eradicated ere the Zhu hours end, at the claws of the Heisho whose reach have conquered every corner of Dangwonyan. Thereafter, Jie Baoyu overpowered the four families and the board of directors with his sheer might and, It seems I'm all caught up. Enough entertainment has been had. The fools who have convened to discuss a thing as equally benighted as them. The vote of no confidence, was it? Must all have been dealt with. Those who once used to rule over Hongwan from its highest peaks dared not look up from the ground in his presence. The new master of Hongwan sits higher than all, observing the obsequious masses before him. When the bell tolls to tell the time, he speaks, his voice echoing in every corner of Hongwan. The tone was low, but its reverberations were deep and bone-chilling. Thus, none in Hongwan were spared from his speech. Heed my voice, residents of Dangwon-yuan. The Jia lie as easily as they breathe. The Wang are bereft of even a small room to lie in. Even in the years of great harvest, the Zhu are blinded in their pursuit of gold, and not even a single engraving welcomes the Shi in 10 steps. Shi in 10 steps? Huh. The 4 great houses are in decline. Only bloodstains remain in the path of the history of Hongwan has taken. Thus, Hongwan shall no longer suffer the hierarchs. Its master needs a name still, however, a new title. The Lord of Hongwan. All shall henceforth address me as Hong Lu, Crimson Dew, the Lord of Hongwan. Much blood had been spilled already, yet red dew stained every down of Hongwan crimson. No forgiveness did His Majesty bestow upon those who dared to pursue selfish ends. As the sun transformed, as the moon waned, banners of Dongwon-yuan fell one by one. And while its night was bright still, nary a human cast a shadow in the light. Some decry him as a tyrant and a despot, for the metallic stench of blood was ever present in His Majesty's wake. Yet the morning could never come without the cost of bloodshed. His Majesty did not expel those who spoke honestly before him, and bestowed government posts to those who gave him sincere advice. The alleys were calm, yet no longer plagued by chill. And children's laughter echoed betwixt the narrow streets of the machine jungle. Thus, some exalt him as a merciful lord of benevolence, for glory and brilliance illuminated his forward path. Hong Lu, the Lord of Hongwan. Though the muddy currents of the city may one day wash away his great deeds. What blessed Hongwan during his brief existence was much like a dream. Thus, this chronicler shall rectify the name of this title, hitherto called Zhengsheng Lu as per His Majesty orders. The title itself, Hong Lu Meng, Dream of the Red Dewdrops. Your Majesty, now that you have the throne, it is high time your health took precedence. You grasp at hollow dreams. I have no time to spare for myself with this responsibility I have claimed. I have made good use of what I have learned thus far. I must seek wider, cast my eye toward new teachings. Shin, Meng, and the Psychomints. You will seek the masters of these techniques and bring them before me. Your Majesty, you mean prepare for a war of the wings. Oh boy, it didn't take long for his benevolence to start causing grief with everyone else. But all that said, yeah, I'd like to show off Hong Lu being cool, but I can't do that as of yet. We'll see what happens.
밤이 되면 눈이 지끈거리니 신경을 거스르지 말라 명령했을 텐데.